It's an interesting time for business. Tariff and trade policies are dynamic, supply chains are squeezed, and cash flow, it's tighter than ever. If your business can't adapt in real time, you are in a little bit of hurt. So how do you get full visibility and adapt in real time? Over 42,000 businesses trust NetSuite by Oracle, your AI-powered business management suite. It brings accounting, financial management, inventory, and HR all under one roof. NetSuite is the #1 cloud ERP for a reason. It's your single source of truth, giving you the data and control you need to move quickly. Real-time forecasting helps you move into the future with confidence, and with AI built in, you can automate the busy work and focus on strategy. NetSuite helps you see what's stuck, what it's costing you, and how to pivot fast. If I were running a business with a lot of moving parts, I'd use NetSuite for full control over everything. Tame the chaos with NetSuite. If your revenues are at least in the 7 figures, download the free ebook, Navigating Global Trade, 3 Insights for Leaders at netsuite.com/SPI. That's netsuite.com/SPI. You spent months building towards launch day, but when the clock hits 0, your site crashes. Bots swarm, and loyal fans rage on Reddit. That's not good. Fanfare was built to stop that. Fanfare is the drop platform made for high-pressure moments, stampede-proof infrastructure, verified waitlists, and bot filters that actually work. Instead of refunds and rage, you get retention and revenue. And that sounds great to me. Your next launch shouldn't be a gamble. Get Fanfare's 5-step hype drop playbook and learn how to bulletproof your drop at fanfare.io/playbook. Again, that's fanfare.io/playbook.
You're listening to the Smart Passive Income Podcast, a proud member of the Entrepreneur Podcast Network, a show that's all about working hard now so you can sit back and reap the benefits later. And now your host. The first album he ever bought was an Ace of Base cassette tape, Pat Flynn.
I get this question a lot. It gets asked during podcast interviews that I'm on, and especially when I'm just in person. It's some question that sounds something like this. Pat, if you were starting over and you had $1,000 to invest in your business, what would you do? Where would you spend that money? I'm going to answer that question today. And I'm going to answer it in the same way that I've answered it on pretty much every other podcast. And I think the answer is always surprising to people. It's surprising because it's not investing in a type of software. It's not investing that money in building a thing or a product that could potentially pay me back. Because in the beginning, if you're just starting out, you don't really know what product to create. The most important problem you need to solve when you're just starting out is figuring out who you want to serve. And once you do that, you find the people there and determine what their problems are. This is straight out of my book, Will It Fly? And this is what I would do with $1,000. I would first take that $1,000 and set it aside. I'll get back to it, I promise. I'm not trying to trick you here or anything. The second thing I would do would be to, like I said, determine who it is that my target audience is. Now, who should that even be? It could be something related to an interest that you have or something that you've been once educated on. For me, if I was starting over today and I didn't have the contacts that I have and I didn't have the relationships and I was kind of just figuring it out, I would do an audit. I would make a list of all the things that I have an interest in, that I'm curious about, that I would put energy into potentially, things that people come to me for. So today it might be something like YouTube would be number one, or podcasting. But let's say I didn't do those because those are business related things that I've discovered as I've already began. But let's say it's fishing, or perhaps parenting, maybe education, which is important to me. Maybe it's graphic design or time management, Pokemon, or some other collectible. So I'm going to make a list of all those things and start looking at any of them, sort of the sea of Post-it notes, and determine, okay, well, which one do I want to hypothetically choose, right? Not choose permanently, but I need to choose something to explore and do a little bit more research with. And this is where the market map exercise comes into play. I've spoken about the market map exercise before. I've written an email about it. These are the 3 Ps about that particular space, right? So I chose a space in general, and I'm going to run this market map exercise, and I'm going to determine the 3 Ps. P number 1, are the places. Where do those people who are in that industry hang out? So in the world of Pokemon, it would be, for example, okay, they're on YouTube. There's some websites like PokeBeach. I would add that to the list as well. I would also list the conventions, Collecticon being one of them. Worlds, so the World Pokemon Championships, that's a place where those people hang out. There's a lot of local game stores that people enjoy. There's also resources and websites. Bulbapedia.com is one of them, right? Just list them all. You don't have to determine which one should and shouldn't live on there yet. You just put them all. So you make an Excel file. That's where that exists. The second P, or the second column, is going to be the people. People who are in that space, who have some sort of authority or influence in that space already. They've already earned the trust from some audience for some reason. And I'd write those names and their locations. So where, not like their home address, but what website are they on, or where are they most active? It might be on Instagram. It might be PokeRev on YouTube. It might be certain influencers who are moving products. It might be, for example, SM Pratt, who is known for his knowledge of trophy cards in the Pokemon space. And just like, that's a person who's over time earned influence, has a little bit of a following, and I'm going to make this list and spend a half hour on this column. And then on the final column, the third P, that's going to be the products. What products are people buying in this space? So in the Pokemon space, they're buying what? Binders. They're actually obviously buying the cards, card protectors. They're even buying into authentication to make sure these things are real and then to get a grade put on them. There's even companies that create protectors for the graded cards. There's deals websites that are happening where people get deals in different retailers, online, offline, Target, Walmart, PokemonCenter.com, all the different places and all the different kinds of products, right? So this gives me a map of the space that I'm looking at. And some things can happen from here. Number one, I might look at this space and go, ugh, I don't really see myself contributing here, not because I can, but because I even if I could, I wouldn't be fulfilled, right? You do the DeLorean strategy. You climb into your DeLorean time machine. You go 1 year into the future. You consider, okay, I'm in this space now and things are working out really well. Am I happy here? Am I fulfilled? Am I enjoying my day-to-day? Am I enjoying who I'm surrounding myself with? If the answer in that hypothetical DeLorean time machine exercise is no, well, then why would you even attempt to move forward with it in real life? Right? You come back to reality today and you're like, nope, that's not a future I want. Even if things worked well, that's not where I want to be. I think there's something better. Great. Scrap it. Remove that Post-it note off of your desk. Wonderful. Then you do the same thing with the next one and the next one. Ultimately, what's going to happen is you're going to find one that stands out amongst the rest. The one that you get the most energy for, the one that gives you butterflies when you start thinking about the possibilities of what might happen in that space. Even though you are a quote-unquote nobody right now in that space, you can see yourself contributing and building a little bit of a name for yourself and finding a little bit of a wedge in the space, a position, a little plot of land, if you will, in this map that you've created that you can call your own. You can build something on. Now, that's going to be a really important exercise, but I still haven't spent any money yet, mind you. And here is literally the next step I would do. Once I hone in on a particular industry or market that I'm interested in, I would take that $1,000 and spend it on a ticket to go to an event. Bonus if it's local and nearby because you can drive and save some more money, but you might have to spend some money on a flight to go to an industry event to put myself in the same room as where these people exist, where some of those names are actually going to show up, where some of those locations have booths at, where some of those products are actually being sold, to invest that time into not just getting a feel for the space, but literally to meet people, build relationships. That is where I would spend my money. I would build relationships by putting myself in the same room as those people and having conversations and using the playbook from Will It Fly to ask questions, to find out what is working here and what is not, to find other people who are just getting started in the space just like me, to find people who have just gotten started in the space who might offer some tips, who I can build a relationship with, who I can create a mastermind group with, who can point me to the right direction, who can make introductions to me to the other person that I need to know who's going to help me get my foot in the door. This is kind of what happened with the Deep Pocket Monster channel in 2020 and 2021 when I started that channel that is now approaching 1 million subscribers. And no, I wasn't able to go to an actual event because nobody was allowed to go anywhere. It was during the pandemic. But I put myself in live streams. I became a part of communities on Discord. I volunteered to become a moderator for certain channels, and I just got to know the industry and I got to know the people. And I would have spent $10,000 to put myself in a position to have that kind of access. And it was that kind of access that helped me understand what this space really needed. It was that kind of access that helped me understand exactly who needed help and how I could help them. One person who was a big creator, I had purchased cards from, and I sent a message back saying, hey, I got your package. It was great, but you know what was missing? Some stickers. In fact, I've created a few stickers for you. Here they are so you can see what they look like. And if you need a referral to a sticker company who can make these, I have one. If not, no worries. I just wanted to look out for you and your brand. Guess what? Me and this person have done collaborations together since. This person has come to my events. This person has promoted my work. Relationships. So that money is spent to build relationships. Now, there's many different ways to do this, right? You could pay for somebody's time. You could rent a person, if you will. Hey, I'll pay you $1,000 just to kind of, speak to you for an hour. That is something people do, and people have offered that to me, and I've usually turned those things down. Although I do have some students who I coach on a more ongoing basis to get me in a Zoom room so we can chat on a more consistent basis, but that's a little bit different. That's coaching, and coaching and mentorship is something that money could go toward to help a person determine where to go next, and I am in support of that. But putting yourself in an industry event to see the action happening live, to just be in that environment, to get the energy of all the things that are there, to meet people at the booth who, guess what? They're looking to build relationships as well. Even if you don't make, quote unquote, a name for yourself then, which isn't the goal, just meet people. Guess what? You come back the next year after you've built a website, you've served the industry a little bit, you've created something unique and different. People start talking. You come back to the same event the next year. Oh, hey, you're back. And dude, you've created some amazing things. We should talk. I remember you from last year. As I once heard, one of the best ways to grow your online business is to get offline. And I don't just say that. I practice it. When the SwitchPod launched in 2019, what was I doing between 2017 and 2019 before it launched with my partner, Caleb? We were going to events like Vid Summit and VidCon and talking to YouTubers, showing them our prototypes, saying, this is what we're working on. What do you think? What would you do if you could change this to make it exactly how you want it to be? That's how we got in the same room with Casey Neistat, who looked at our SwitchPod. Incredible. That's how eventually we got to meet Peter McKinnon at Vid Summit, and he got to see one of our prototypes, and he became a huge supporter of the SwitchPod and a big reason why it was successful when it came out of the gate. I mean, we were already going to reach our goal on day one, but he helped us get way over the top, which was incredible. Again, relationships. So my call to action item to you would be, and this is for you even if you've already started your business and you're not starting over, but you want a new beginning. Find out what events are happening and get into those rooms. If you can, try to speak at those events. Those events become incredible relationship builders because as a speaker especially, you get put in the green room. You get to potentially go to a speaker dinner. You get to go to the speaker party. You get to literally be in the same room, not just with the attendees, but the other creators and the other influencers who are in that space, who you can partner with, build relationships with, get them on your podcast, go on their podcast, etc. So do that. Do that now. Find out what events are happening. Still got a lot of year left, and the upcoming years, obviously, to get yourself in the right room. That's what I would do with my 1K. Now, here's one thing you can do for free. You could subscribe to the channel. You could subscribe to this podcast. You can get more information coming your way. So I hope this was helpful for you and inspiring. Yeah, that's how confident I am that if things were to get burnt to the ground, that I'd know exactly what to do to build back up. Because it's people. Now more than ever, especially now more than ever. Speaking of people, thank you for being an awesome group of people. You, the listener. I appreciate you. Hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next week. Cheers. Thank you so much for listening to the Smart Passive Income podcast at smartpassiveincome.com. I'm your host, Pat Flynn. Sound editing by Duncan Brown. Our senior producer is David Grabowski, and our executive producer is Matt Gartland. The Smart Passive Income podcast is a production of SPI Media and a proud member of the Entrepreneur Podcast Network. Catch you next week. Look, I get it. You want to grow your business, but trying to sell to hundreds or even thousands of people gets very exhausting very fast. But what if you could sell at scale with a simple, powerful quiz? Score App helps you sell to more people without adding more to your plate. You build a quiz or assessment that your audience actually wants to take. Then they answer a few quick questions and get a personalized result right away. It shows them where they're at and what they need to do next and how you can help. And you build huge amounts of trust before you make even a single offer. No hard sell, no chasing leads, just value at scale. Get 50% off the first 3 months using the discount code SPI. All you have to do is just head to scoreapp.com/SPI. Again, that's scoreapp.com/SPI. Have you dreamt about being your own boss, but still haven't made the first steps to making that dream a reality? Well, I get that. Starting a business can feel super overwhelming with legal forms, paperwork, finances. It's a lot. And that's why I'm excited to tell you about Taylor Brands. Taylor is a complete business builder designed to make launching your business simple and stress-free. You can register your LLC in just minutes, keeping your personal assets and the business assets separate from day one. From there, you get access to everything you need to get off the ground. Legal documents, licenses and permits, invoicing and bookkeeping tools, and even a 100-day business coaching program, all designed to help you hit the ground running. You'll also get a free, personalized business plan, branding tools, and so much more. And of course, listeners of this show get an exclusive 35% discount to get started. All you have to do is head to taylorbrands.com/SPI. That's TAILORBRANDS.com/SPI. Stop dreaming, start building with Taylor Brands.